As we have seen that transistor biasing is essential in an amplifier circuit to ensure proper zero signal collector current, collector emitter voltage and base emitter voltage. Some of the biasing circuits will provide better stabilization also, so we will choose the transistor biasing circuits in such a way that in addition to ensuring the conditions for faithful amplification, it will try to have we will try to have a circuit with a better stabilization. So in addition to providing proper zero signal collector current, a minimum proper base emitter voltage and a minimum proper collector emitter voltage, a biasing circuit tries to keep the operating points independent of the temperature and transistor inherent parameter variations. So the different methods can be used for the transistor biasing. The different circuits used for the transistor biasing are the base resistor method, another one is the biasing with the collector feedback resistor, and another one is the potential divider bias or voltage divider bias. These three biasing methods we will discuss in the coming lectures, and one more biasing method we can use to bias a transistor circuit is that emitter bias method. So out of these four biasing methods, the first three are described in your syllabus, so we will discuss the first three of these transistor biasing methods. The first one is the base resistor method. It is the simplest method. As the name implies, the circuit of a base resistor method contains a resistance RB connected in the base of the transistor circuit. One end of the base resistor RB is connected to the base, and other end of the base resistance RB is connected to the plus VCC. So here we will have a plus VCC. Now we will analyze the circuit. Here this one represents a NPN transistor. If it is a PNP transistor, then the base resistance RB should be connected to the negative terminal of the voltage source VCC. So instead of connecting this RB to A, we will connect the other end of this RB to the lower terminal, that is minus the neutral point N. So now let's analyze this circuit first. Analyzing the circuit means we want to determine what value of RB is to be connected in the circuit. This is otherwise called designing the circuit. What is the value of the resistance RB connected in the circuit so as to have the biasing conditions, or to fulfill the biasing conditions. For that, first of all we will assume a proper IC, that is, we will know the input signal, the negative peak of the input signal, so that from that we will get the minimum value of the collector current that should be flows through the circuit in the absence of the signal. That means this value is obtained by taking the negative value or the peak value of this input signal during the negative half cycle, and which is called the base current, and this will be multiplied by beta. Beta is the transistor parameter which will be mentioned by the transistor providers. From that we will get beta IB will be the IC value, that is the collector current due to the signal alone. From the value of the collector current due to the signal alone, we can determine the minimum zero signal collector current IC. So we will assume this IC. From IC we can have the relation IC is equal to beta IB. So from this equation we will get IB is equal to IC by beta. Let it be equation number 1. Now we have the circuit. Let's analyze the circuit by using Kirchhoff law. So this is NDA, this is the node B, and let's call this node as E, and this is N. Now consider the closed circuit A, B, E, N, A. If we apply Kirchhoff's voltage law, VCC minus IBRB, since the IB will flow downward, so we are moving in the same direction, so we will take this as negative, minus IBRB minus VBE is equal to 0. So we can write this VCC is equal to IBRB plus VBE. So from this equation we can write RB is equal to VCC minus VBE divided by IB. The value of VCC is known to us because it is the voltage value of the voltage source connected in the circuit, and VBE is the base emitter voltage. For we know that it is for silicon it is 0.7 volt, and for germanium it is 0.3 volt, and VBE is 0.7 volt for silicon and 0.3 volt for germanium, and the VCC is known to us. IB is obtained from the equation number 1, IC by beta. The value of beta is also provided by the transistor manufacturers, or we can find it out by using a multimeter, and IC is the value of the current which we will determine depending upon the value of the input signal we are using. Usually we will take this IC for practical purposes 1 milliampere or 10 milliampere depending upon the circuit you are using. So from here we will get the value of RB. So this RB will ensure the conditions for faithful amplification, and from here equation this one we are obtained RB is equal to VCC minus VBE divided by IB, and you know that VCC is very much greater than VBE. In practical purposes, the value of VCC is around 10 to 12 volt, and the VBE is only 0.7 for silicon and 0.3 for germanium, so that can be neglected when compared with VCC. So RB can approximated as VCC by IB. So now let's consider the stability factor of this circuit, and we know that the stability expression for the stability factor is equal to S is equal to beta plus 1 divided by 1 minus beta into DIB by DIC. In this method, we have seen that IB, the base current, actually independent of IC, because it does not depend on IC, but IC depends on IB definitely, but IB is determined by this RB and the voltage source connected here VCC. And because IB is flowing through RB, the resistances in the path of IB are, you can say that the voltage VBE, the voltage source VCC and RB will determine the value of IB. So IB does not depends on IC in this particular bias or base resistor bias. So DIB by, which leads to DIB by DIC is equal to 0. So if you put it here, you will get S is equal to beta plus 1 divided by 1. So it is S is equal to beta plus 1. That means stability factor is very high. For a BC107, beta varies from 100 to 500, so S will be more than 100 for BC107. So if we are using BC107 transistor for making an amplifier, this base resistor method is not suitable, since it does not provide the better stabilization. But remember that this is a very simple method, and the circuit is fixed here. It is otherwise called fixed bias. So since VCC is fixed, so we can call this one as a fixed bias. So base resistor biasing method is otherwise called fixed bias, since the VCC is fixed and it is a non-quantity, and RB is chosen at some suitable value, and so we can call it as a fixed bias. Because RB is directly found out just by taking a particular value of IB, and VCC is fixed. So once the biasing conditions are set, then we will not change it. So it is a fixed bias method. And let's hope the advantages and disadvantages. One of the main advantages is that it is a very simple circuit, since it requires only one resistor RB for the biasing purpose. Another one, the biasing conditions can easily be set, and calculations are simple, because the biasing conditions are easily set. Just we have to determine the value of RB only. so that it is easy, the calculations are easy. And another advantage is that the base resistance is connected to the VCC, not to the input signal, so there is no loading of the source by the biasing circuit, since no resistor is employed across the base emitter junction. If a resistor is employed across the base emitter junction, so that means if we employ any resistance across it, it will come in parallel with here we are applying the input signal, so it will come in parallel with the signal, so there will be a loading effect of this voltage source with the resistance connected. Since there is no resistances which is connected across base emitter junction, we can say that there is no loading effect of the source by the biasing circuit. So there is no loading effect of source by the biasing circuit. These are some of the advantages. The disadvantages, as we have seen that the stability factor is very high, so it is high, so there is a chance for thermal runaway. And another disadvantage is stabilization is poor. So stabilization is poor means that the base current has a variation with respect to the temperature changes, and also with respect to the variations in transistor parameters. For example, if beta increases due to transistor parameter, then IC also increases by the same factor as IB is constant. Because IB is fixed here, that's why it is called a fixed bias. So since IB is fixed, if beta is increased, then IC will also increase, so that it will shift to the operating point. So the stabilization is poor for a base resistor method, and also we have seen that the stability factor is high. It is approximately beta plus 1, or it is the stability factor is beta plus 1. So whenever there is a change in the transistor parameter, or there is a change in increase in the temperature, it will increase the collector current, and this cumulative effect, it will increase the leakage current again, and this cumulative effect will increase the temperature of the transistor, and there is a chance for the destruction of the transistor due to thermal runaway. Okay, thank you.